It's nearing Nirvana, yeah. It's nearing Nirvana. Never had one singing lesson.
I wasn't expecting it, so now I'm like not ready. Welcome in, everyone.
Was that like pre-recorded?
I was waiting for everybody to jump in. It's nearing Nirvana.
That was
Anybody?
Did he just unmute himself and do that?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Totally wasn't expecting it, so it just happened. All right, let's see who we have here. We got Ronan Kane. We are going to be talking about Momoko, NYCC. We got Trish in the house with us tonight to offer a really cool perspective. Guys, if you're just joining, welcome into Nearing Nerdvana. Tonight is cleverly called Conflicts because we will be discussing, not all negative, but just some things about the cons that we've noticed that have been changing and evolving. And we'll do some news. Popcorn Culture's in the house. What's up? Good to see you. Venom.
Go, Richie.
Wayne, hello. Yes, the NYCC recap. I have not said a word, so I'm excited too. Karen, welcome in.
Karen.
There's Sarah. She couldn't be with us tonight.
Sarah.
Let's see. Laura Brooklyn.
What's up, baby?
I had nothing to do with the Momoko thing. Just to clarify, I was not a part of that. Lucy's in the house, but she's not with us tonight. She's doing her babies. And look at that.
Dang, dude.
Happy Friday, everyone. And now to try to figure out why everyone is acting like idiots at cons and taking the fun out of the hobby. Amen, brother. We're going to get to that too. Mojo Quid, what's up? And Nemesis Prime's in the house. I got to meet him at the con, which was great. Paul, hello. Welcome on in. Dwayne, Tim, Stacy, hi. David, good to see you in the house. And Ronnie, welcome. Wow. Thank you guys for all being on standby. Shall we? Want to just dive right in?
Go for it.
We're going to start with news, kind of slowly merge you guys into the main topic of the night. Harrison Ford, cast as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU, a.k.a. Red Hulk. Jen, we'll start with you. How do you feel about this?
Wait, is it confirmed through...
Here's my note. My notes on it are it's pretty confirmed. Yeah, he's supposed to be filling in...
What trade? What main trade?
Let's see here. This is...
It's I've been hearing about this all week also. And there's a lot of different websites, but if you look at Variety and the Hollywood Reporter,
Collider.
Get off my plane.
I got it from Geek Tyrant on top of it. So not as, I would say, official.
I mean, if he will do it, cool. I hope he doesn't do it like he did Han Solo for one movie and then but
I think it could work. It's getting mixed reactions on social media. Some people are thrilled about it, but with the untimely passing of actor William Hurt, it seems like Marvel's kind of scrambling to make sure that they don't mess up the scheduling or whatever. What do you think,
Is Harrison 90?
Dude, I think he's 73.
Dude,
I mean, the character will likely be 90% CG anyway, right? So, he's most likely just going to be the voice.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that they
and
did
perhaps maybe efficient acting.
he's 80.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
He ain't gonna be picking up any buses and hitting Hulk with anything, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, they said they wanted to announce it at D23, but they didn't because there's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out and they didn't want it to distract. So that was
he was already on stage for that, and I'm like, what the hell is he gonna do in that?
Yeah. So I think so this is pretty confirmed. It's just that they didn't want to announce it when other things were being announced because they wanted the focus for publicity reasons. I mean, I like Harrison Ford, but also, yeah, he's getting up there. So I hope everything is smooth sailing. I feel like with all the other news that we're getting this week, you're just I want everyone to be okay.
Just kind of don't let him fly any planes. Don't let him fly any planes.
This isn't Tom Cruise, Mr. Impossible. So
I did not realize he's 80 years old.
Neither did I.
William Hurt was 71.
I thought he was 72, 73. I did not know he was 80. That's insane. He's still really cute.
I was just watching, or not watching, but I saw a clip of old Star Wars, which he's in. I've never seen like the old Star Wars films, but I saw a clip of them and he's in it, and I was like, oh, like young Harrison
You've
Ford.
never seen Star Wars?
I know.
Haley, that's not the right time to tell that. Look at Joe's eyes. They're going to pop out of his head.
Holy shit.
I saw the one with like Hayden Christensen.
Oh,
and
God.
when
Oh,
I
God.
was a teenager.
You started with the best ones.
All right, here, Joe. Fixed it. Better?
No.
Problem solved.
Good job.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding, Haley.
It's okay. After that and Home Alone, like I don't even expect to be
Wait,
here anymore. I'm
did
just
you watch
waiting for
Indiana
someone to
Jones?
vote me off the island.
Did you watch Indiana Jones?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Never too late to start.
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
Hmm.
Red Hood's
Hmm.
unconvinced.
We're all suspicious of you now.
Hmm.
Let's see. Next up on news, I had to include this because anybody that knows me, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And Robbie Coltrane passed away today. The last thing he did was that Hogwarts like legacy feature a few months back. And he said, the legacy of the movies is that my children's generation will show them to their children. So you could be watching it in 50 years, time easy. I may not be here, sadly, but Hagrid will. And that's one of the last quotes they got from him. So
Wasn't that cool Harry Potter where all the cast members got back together and then he was talking about his role?
yeah, he was like, from what I understand, when they were filming Prisoner of Azkaban and they're all stuck in that shack, like he was always really good with the kids. He was always trying to crack jokes and keep the set fun. And I don't know, I feel like there's so many amazing actors from Harry Potter that aren't here with us anymore. Like those movies could never be remade. They could never be redone because we're missing too many key players in this story.
It's really sad, but I thought he was already gone. I'm thinking about somebody else.
You're thinking about Mr. Dursley. He died Snape.
Oh, well,
Malfoy's mom.
I knew about him, but I knew there's another old guy,
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. That's the one.
He's still kicking, right?
The older Dumbledore. Well, there were two.
Oh,
They had to replace after the first movie. It was the second movie.
ugh.
Yeah.
Listen, 2022 cannot get the hell off taking people away. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, Angela Lansbury recently, very upset.
Yeah, I think I'm going to watch Harry Potter tonight just in honor of this. But yeah, just
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
go get my Mrs. Potts something and sit and watch some Murder, She Wrote.
Or Beauty and the Beast, right? Ellie was like, I want to watch Beauty and the Beast tonight, Mom.
That's
That
what
Jonathan
exactly I
Brewster.
wanted to do. I was with Candace earlier, and I was like, I just want to watch Beauty and the Beast. And yeah, that's probably what I'm doing after the show.
No, you're watching Star Wars after the show.
I am watching Beauty and the Beast, Laura. So well.
Actually, I'm okay with you watching that one for that reason. Shout out to Lords of the Long Box. They are in the house. We got TiVo here with us tonight. If you guys are not subbed up to that channel, please do. They're our brother channel and also sponsored by Cover Price. Really? You don't like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Okay, you have to pick one or the other.
I
It's
was
like
gonna say there's like a
you can't
unwritten
say
rule.
both of them because like I'm not a huge Harry Potter person. I never read the books, but I love, and Laura's gonna kick me off forever and never talk to me again. But I love Lord of the Rings, and I have a Lord of the
You
Rings.
do. She's
So-
She's not gonna kick you off. She had to kick me off too.
She's just like absolutely fucking mad.
I just, I like Lord of the Rings too. That's our saving grace. We can bond over that. Lord of the Rings is great.
And
And-
Game of Thrones now that I've officially watched it as of like 3 weeks ago.
yeah, that's another solid pick.
Okay.
All right, let's keep cruising. Guys, if you are just joining, we are going to be discussing New York Comic Con in a few minutes here. We're just covering some news topics that we thought we should bring to light. Haley, this was your pick. Do you want to explain this one?
Yeah, so there is like in like Disney, like Tokyo, there's like all of these like really fun Disney Sea adventures, and there's like this fictional kind of like what they call like secret society, like sea scientists and adventurers, and they're kind of creating a film off of it. And Ryan Reynolds is going to be it in Queen Nguyen is going to be writing it, and so it just seems like a really fun like live action adaptation of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, and I'm excited because I feel like those are really fun, like both like the Secret Society but adventurous stuff. So it gives me like a Indiana Jones vibe, kind of thing. And what was the film that like The Rock was in recently?
The Jungle Cruise?
Jungle Cruise. Kind of like, that's what I feel like, the like a meeting in the middle feelings of that.
That
And
little monkey character that is on his shoulder, on that gentleman's shoulder where the headline is,
Mhm.
that little monkey character is on everything at Shanghai Disney. I love him.
I didn't know that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I saw that I love Ryan Reynolds. I thought this would be a really fun kind of news piece, and I'm excited to see what they do with
It's
it.
going to be live action, and Reynolds, from what I understand, is going to be serving as the producer. I don't think he's actually going to be in it as of right now.
Well, then maybe they'll still have his humor, just delivered from someone else.
Maybe.
Really. And
Yeah.
Which one of these is going to be The Rock?
Right?
You know, like that's like his gem. He does all these jungle movies. Did that Jumanji, Jungle
Oh,
Cruise?
that's right. He did Jumanji.
Yeah.
New one. There we go.
I mean,
Yeah. Jay, I was thinking Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen too. That's kind of what
Mhm.
this is the vibe of.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that one. But yeah, that's coming out soon. Jen, anything to add to this one? No? Okay. I'll keep cruising. Another sad one, guys. All right. Again, I'll let Haley cover this one. This was her pick, but you want to elaborate, Haley?
Yeah, so this was super sad. I was like, actually, I was with Candace, as I said earlier, and her mom let us know that the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Passed away. He was at a really famous, like kind of like beach diving point, and there was kind of like a riptide that was like taking people under, and he dove to save people. And as he was trying to save people, he actually himself had kind of gotten taken under, drowned. So though he did actually save people, so people lived because of him. He unfortunately, his body was found and like due to drowning, and it's just like incredibly sad. And they're calling him a hero and things of that sort. But it's just, I think he was in his 60s, so not like really old, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, I remember all like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and the shows, and so when I heard that, it was not a fun piece of news.
Like what Dwayne was saying, that's what Trish was getting at. Like, what's going on this year, Trish?
Oh,
not a good one.
Everybody just needs to.
But we had to, like, we didn't have to, but we wanted to kind of mention
these things come in threes, right? We just lost 3, basically. You know, right? Angela Lansbury, Hagrid, and this fella.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, maybe we're done for a little bit here, but
yeah, no more. I don't know. Throw some salt over your shoulder. Whatever you got to do. Get this hex office. 2022.
3 per week. Oh my god.
Man, I'm excited for a great show. I'm in a good mood. And
I know, I'm sorry. I'm gonna change the vibe here because we're about to get into like an even more controversial topic. But shit.
Red Hood's hat reminds me of the cover A of Stray Dogs. Now I can't unsee it. Thanks.
All right, here's a controversial one. Sky News Australia recently put out an article with the headline, "Going Woke and Broke. DC cancels gay Superman solo run after."
Oh, man.
Anyway, so Son of Kal-El writer Tom Taylor, he like shut this down. He tweeted, "Not canceled. John Kent's solo title is being renamed Adventures of Superman, John Kent. As for sales, let's check what the #1 selling comic is on Amazon right now. Try reporting facts." So he fired back. And at the time of the tweet, Son of Kal-El #16 was the best-selling comic on Amazon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, how many like comic books sell on Amazon? Like,
lots.
Like, really?
Yeah. Well, it's like, right, you have Amazon also owns Comixology.
Oh, no. Like copy made out of paper, not digital.
They also sell books made out of paper. I mean, anybody who sells on Amazon or sells on eBay or has a store anywhere can have a store on Amazon. So, I mean,
that's surprising. I mean, does that surprise you that that's the #1 comic book?
It surprised me. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that. No, I would have thought it.
Me neither, man.
But interesting, this little like Twitter war that happened here. Jen, what do you think?
Okay. So working in a comic book store, I see sales for this all the time for John Kent. I spend a lot of my time working with comics every day. I listen to comic content. I try to get pieces from everywhere, and then I'm on Twitter like whenever I have a break or something, right? And it's getting really interesting to hear and see trends of people putting out negativity, and I think that that equals views and attention. I get tired of it and turn it off. When I first saw that this was someone said this, I was like, that's not true, because I just saw in solicits for next year the cover for this. So I was like, whatever, they're just saying this stuff. And then I keep seeing it pop up in people's news things. I'm like, does no one else have access to like solicits for next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Previews.
So, you know, if people want to talk, I'm good for Tom Taylor to like
yeah,
oh,
you know, I could be completely wrong, and this book could like be the shit, and like, you know, I don't want, at least I'd like a chance to read it before I really make an opinion, you know.
I think number 1 went to 4th print.
Yeah,
Really?
it got a lot of like, I remember because I ended up picking up this series like after a while. Like it had gone into several printings, and I ended up picking it up because I just don't typically actually read DC, but I love Tom Taylor's writing and kind of got into it from like Deceased, then into Nightwing, and then I went into Superman. And that what was interesting in Tom's rebuttal to the reporter who basically did like this kind of like fake headline, like try to claim that it was being canceled. Tom kept kind of pushing back, and he was like, so like, why are you so interested in Superman? I'm writing like 11 other books, and they're also like kind of on list, essentially. He's like Deceased, Nightwing. He was like just like naming other things that projects he's a part of, but they kept like going in. And what was interesting is this reporter published this in Australia, but then like the Daily Mail and like other outlets picked it up, and like the headlines were like DC cancels gay superhero or like gay Superman, and like just like really like, you know, just like those clickables. And it was just
really clickbaiting everyone.
Yeah, it was just really crazy to see. And then it's like you go to like, you find out, like Jen is saying, if you see like previews and solicits, like Tom was like, we're retitling it as like this, that, and it's coming out next year, and like nothing is canceled. And also here are the 18 other projects I'm working on. Like it was really crazy to see like how it, like one article that didn't really stem from.
Then it's like a weird psychotic game of like telephone.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody heard something, you know, or saw something in an article, and then translated it across 50 million websites, and just, you know,
crazy.
They just add, you know, monkey football at the end, and you know,
it went to 3rd print, and there's 2 different covers for 3rd print. Just,
I guess the moral of the story is do your homework. Don't believe everything you read, right?
Well, look, not everybody.
Check multiple sources, I suppose.
Some people don't like it, and that's okay. Like you could not like a title and not have to like. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people try to cancel stuff and be like, "Oh yeah, it's doing horrible. This is horrible. What are they doing? This is stupid." It's like, okay, you don't have to like it, but people obviously are still buying it. So just.
Well, the more we have, like,
people like things.
The less we have comic books being canceled, the better, you know?
Well, yeah, just focus on, why can't we focus on what we like? Right? Like, what do you like reading? Talk about it.
And you don't have to defend why you like something. You know? You don't have to justify it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. You don't have to like fight about it.
The perfect segue too, because guys, if you are just joining, typically as a channel in general, we don't really like to get involved with any of the drama topics. It's just, we steer away from it. It gets overplayed.
What?
Stay positive, right? Stay positive.
Yeah. You don't stay away from drama. What are you talking about? That's why you have me here.
That is true. I mean, there's some days that I get so nervous. I'm like, Joe, but no, this one deserves to be talked about. And again, we are very honored to have Trish here because she is an artist, a very hot artist. So she understands what it's like. But we're going to talk a little bit about NYCC. Last Friday, they did a whole show about exclusives. And so we wanted to give you a little idea of how they're performing versus last week. 8 Billion Genies, #1. This is the foil variant.
Always up. Look at that.
I think he was selling it for $60.
That was 50.
It was like on his website for
He
52, I think.
I thought he changed it at the con to 60.
Did he?
Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that's what I heard, that he actually changed the price once he got to the con, but I could be wrong, so don't quote.
Yeah, because I lost signal Friday. So Thursday I saw 50, and then I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, somebody came by our booth and he's like, I just got this for $60. I was like, oh, that's great. But so now you're seeing one of them sold for 67 or 69 plus shipping. Another one sold for 83 plus shipping. So that's the 8 Billion Genies. It was 50 at the con, said Flame Brain. We'll just leave it. Let's just leave it at that. Then it was $50 at the con. The Carnage #6 Peach Momoko variant. Kind of hard to tell what that's selling for now. I think again it was selling for 40 at the con, but it looks like it's going for $44.99.
Well, that weird line, does that mean that
An offer was
It went for less.
Okay.
Yeah, it went for less.
They struck a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because what are you guys noticing here?
Most of them, well,
Lots of deals
know.
made.
Mm-hmm.
they're not really blowing up.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like
you
there's
know.
a huge like
There's
they
like not a huge jump between what they were and what they are currently. So they're not like, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that all of these runs, like Ant-Man, and Carnage, they probably had 3,000 of those books there. You know.
The Ant-Man was you have to be subscribed to Marvel's Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that Ant-Man. It has Jeff Lanchard.
Yeah, Jeff Lanchard.
But
And
they're
that-
coming out with a bunch of oh my god, snap. I love Jeff Blanchard. But they're coming
He's
out
so
with a bunch
cute.
of covers with him on it too. So it's like if you don't want to pay premium for this specific book with him on the cover, you can just buy for like $3.99 a bunch of Marvel covers with Jeff Blanchard on it in like the upcoming weeks
Yeah.
too. So
Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson with one too also.
which like I would say preferable characters maybe. I mean, I'm not a huge Ant-Man unless you're like a diehard Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know.
I think I just like the artwork on that Ant-Man one. Like I think I dug it. I don't know that I'd still pay, $45 for a book
Yeah.
because I like the cover. That's a lie. That's a huge lie. Just saying.
So here's the first topic I want to discuss, and I want you guys just to be brutally honest. There were actually over 200 different variants at New York Comic Con.
That's a lot.
And some of them were just people that showed up and said this is a New York Comic Con exclusive and it didn't actually have the logo on the back. That happens a lot. But what do you guys think about the amount of exclusives that were at the con this year?
I think that there's a blurry line in between like shops doing exclusives and the convention doing exclusives. And the big like the publishers doing exclusives. Like I think the publisher and the convention doing exclusives, that's kind of a hand-in-hand thing. But like a lot of shops did exclusives. And that's where things start to get fuzzy because it's like an unofficial exclusive. Maybe you're only selling it there. But what are you going to do when you got extras? You going to throw them in the trash? You still spend money on it. Aren't you going to still sell it outside of the place where it was to be exclusive? I mean, I don't know. I think it gets a little fuzzy there. That's where I think it gets.
There were some shops that literally did an exclusive for every letter of the alphabet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw like some shops publish damn checklists of their exclusives. And not only did they do just one exclusive, they did several variants of that exclusive. So like you've got, here's this cover, here's the virgin, here's the metal, here's the chromium, here's the, I don't know, foil embossed, wax sealed envelope version. It gets out of hand.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
I know. We should totally do that. We should do that.
Wax seal situation happening.
You want to know the book I want Laura and Ant to do? The first inside outside book. Right? The inside is the outside. And the cover is in the middle. Right? The first inside
Oh, I
outside
think
book.
like Kyle Higgins did a cool one for Radiant Black that was the Infinite edition, where the whole thing was like an accordion, the whole book. So you
I saw a
fold
picture
it
of
out,
that.
and it just like the whole story was like front to back.
Yeah,
on
but
it.
that's not the inside outside concept that I have.
Could be if you fold it up wrong.
So here's my take, and people have been asking me since I got back. Obviously, I'm biased. We deal in exclusives, but exclusives, for the record, I know a lot of people out there don't like them, and that's okay. But these covers do create a level of support for both the creators of the book and for artists to create books that otherwise wouldn't exist.
My opinion came from the point of view of a collector, which I also am. So I can see how it sounded like, oh, retailer exclusives, boo. I have work because I do retailer exclusives, okay?
Yeah.
So like I'm not down in it. I'm not shitting on it in any way. But it can be too much. So like if I do one cover and you do 6 versions of it as exclusives, I think that's where it gets out of control. You see? I mean, does that make any sense? Am I like sounding like
No,
a complete
it's,
lunatic?
it's like exclusivity is being replaced with excess. We're
Mhm.
ending up with so much that it's no longer quote
It's not
unquote
special
exclusive.
anymore because
Right.
the whole point of an exclusive when you go to a con or when you go to anything that has an exclusive aspect to whatever event you're going to, whether that's a con or something else, you're like, you feel special going to that place to get that thing. Like there's like a specialness and an excitement and like a joyful experience around it. You're like, I got this ticket. I got to go here. I got this thing. And then you're like, I'm a special person because of that. And like, you're like, whatever the case may be. And when you have like that many exclusives at a con, like when it's oversaturated, it's like, it doesn't feel as special. It's like, I would assume, I mean, I didn't obviously go to New York Comic Con, but when you see so many, you're like, how does this feel different than buying retailer exclusives online than going to another con where there's like a slightly different version, but also the same thing at the same con? Like, I
They
know
changed
that
the color of the background. It's a whole new cover.
yeah, where it's like it's a slight variation, so it doesn't feel as special. That is the only thing where I see certain things like that happening, and it's like, how does that change the experience for the buyer and the collector? Is my like thought process.
This was brought up on Pressable Defects show. Apparently, there was like a Florida Comic Con that had a foil. No, it was called a lava look to it, and they literally reprinted the same book and made it into a different type of effect and made it a New York Comic Con. And they were talking about how that's not fair for the collectors because then you're taking the value
You're
from
taking, the value that tanks the value of the one that was first. So, you know, I don't know. As a creator, an artist, and someone who gets work on these, variants, these different variants and things like that all the time, I mean, it probably sounds kind of stupid of me to kind of say, well, you all are wrong. This is wrong. Don't do this anymore. But at the same time, it's like, well, as a collector, man, it just sucks because I have this special book. Now this special book has been released 6 more times in 6 different finishes. I mean, like, just throw it in my fire pit then. It's not as special as anything else. It's not even worth the paper it's printed on. I'm not going to pay $40 for it, or whatever.
I agree.
Whatever people will charge. So like, I'll compare it. The acetate slippy thing that you guys did for the for the miles.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool as shit. And I think a lot of other people did too because it was something different. But if you didn't want it on the book, then you could just take it off. You just take it away and still have your virgin variant and your trade dress or whatever.
Joe, you're being unusually quiet considering this is a controversial topic.
So, like,
Yeah, come tell me I'm wrong.
I think about, like, because, like, I've been hearing about this shit for a while now. Like, I'd like to see what would happen at a con if you took away all these exclusives from the people that don't normally do it and are abusing it, I mean, they wouldn't make any money, because if you got to sell books straight up, I mean, as a collector, you're looking for high grade, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and things like that. They wouldn't, so that's why they have to like copy and do these things. Otherwise, they wouldn't make any money. Because
if you're going to do an exclusive, why not put the logo on it of the show?
Yeah, no shit. Like, I
And then-
mean, like, at least have like NYCC on the back of it, like it's supposed to be there. Like, and like, I don't know who runs these cons, but like, they're just as guilty. As like, no, you can't sell that as an exclusive, or even say that's an exclusive. This, if you can only say these books are exclusives for this con,
Yeah, there's really no monitoring of that.
I just don't know how you like stop this, like, and people just keep on buying it. Like,
well, I mean, Bird City's trade for Baltimore Comic-Con had the logo on the back. It was a Baltimore exclusive. The ones that were pre-sold were shipped after Baltimore Comic-Con, because that's the way it had to be. That was the rule for Baltimore Comic-Con. You could pre-sell, but you had to send it after. But those books, there were 2 left at the end.
That's what I'm saying, though. That used to be the standard. That used to be the rule. And I guess after coming back from New York, I feel like we've lost our balance. There's not that balance anymore that there needs to be between. It's like greed and money is outweighing passion.
Is there a restriction at all? Like, because I guess in terms of my understanding, which is not great to be quite honest, it sounds like we're all talking about there's like over 200 exclusives. Is there a cap? Like, is there?
No, there could have been.
I mean, you could make an exclusive.
I could make an exclusive. I could make an exclusive. Send my book back to reprint exclusively for me to sell. I could do whatever I wanted, and that would be really shitty of me to do to my beautiful collectors.
That's really wild to me, and not in like. I don't know what to say. I just like I feel like that's really crazy, and not in the way that I don't think like because there can then be questions of gatekeeping, right? If there's like this, like I say that there should only be these group of people who can like do this kind of thing, then you can get into the conversation of like, what does gatekeeping look like in the community X, Y, and Z. But I do feel like there is and should be, especially at cons, maybe a certain kind of criteria or level of which you maybe need to be a retailer or whomever in order to do a certain kind of
have a diamond account, be required to have a diamond account, be something
that like just makes it, because
if you're going to do an exclusive, put the logo on it, put your money where your mouth is, sell the damn thing at the show, and then once it's over, destroy it.
Right. They don't want to do that because that takes away their ability to mass produce it and sell it at other cons.
Do you guys want to hear from Ant on this? Do you want him to hop on? He just
then what happens? The secondary market goes bananas. So, like your 500 print run, say it's an image book, it's a 500 print run. You get your 500 New York exclusives with your little stamp on it. You sell half of them. You've got to throw half of them in the trash.
I don't mind them selling after like the con, like that's not like if you have extra stock, but I do think like when you have everyone and like Joe, Dick, and Harry doing an exclusive, then like how does that? I don't know. I just threw out some like.
Did the pandemic kind of brought out this new breed of reseller? This new breed of store, like. People were doing stuff out of their basements and doing stuff, just buying collections and reselling them on eBay or whatever. I mean, the pandemic brought out a lot of new competition. And all of these people just got to be able to be back into the world. For the first time, they're out there getting their own merch and their own stuff. So it's flooding everything.
Here too, though, Trish. Exclusive and con exclusive should be two different things. And I think if you want to sell it after the fact, fine, as long as it has the logo. If you're going to advertise as a con exclusive, make sure it is one. Like we had to submit to NYCC for permission to use their logo on the back of our books. Yeah, you have to get approval for that. That's kind of one way to know that you're getting a legit one.
Well, and that's what you did for Baltimore too. You did the same thing for Baltimore.
Hi, husband.
What's up?
We were just discussing, we're about to move forward here in a second. Aunt, you might want to look at this. So here's how the books are performing currently from New York. Amazing Fantasy 1000 by Tyler Kirkham's going for about $50.
I can't believe that Vincenzo, man, not going off the hook. It's so good.
I thought that one would
I'm
do.
mad that like these books aren't
Look at
reselling
them Miles books,
$1
man.
million after the fact. Like, I feel like that's also really crazy when you get like the secondary market is so insane where a book is dropping and it's like $30 at a con, and then it goes to the secondary market. It's like, $1,500. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's because I wasn't there and I want like.
So, like, if things weren't as watered down, Haley, like 6-7 years ago, like that Miles book would be at like $300-$400 right now.
Oh wow!
I shit you not. I mean,
I'm such a new collector and like person in this space, so my understanding of a lot of even the market stuff is just so minimal. So you even telling me that, I'm like, that's crazy to think about.
Because it was exclusive to like, and there was only so many at these cons. You'd go to like 4 or 5 different booths, and you would hunt down those booths. But now it was like,
I'll give you an example. D23.
I went and I bought, and that makes sense because so fun fact about my early collecting. San Diego Comic-Con came out with exclusive like enamel pins of Xavier and Magneto from House of X Power of X, and I spent a pretty penny on them on secondary market because I read it years after the fact and was like looking, and they're so hard to find, and I am ashamed about how much money I spent on them, but I'm so happy I have them. But I feel like that's kind of what you're speaking to, is like they were really like exclusive and they felt really special. So like when selling on the secondary market, they actually feel rare and hard to get. Is that kind of yeah?
I mean, like the D23 exclusives also like that. Those felt exclusive. There were 2 books, and you could only get that cover there. You couldn't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I paid a fortune.
Did you buy one, Trish?
I paid an embarrassing fortune.
Oh my god!
Good for you. It made you happy though, so that's what
it did. I earned it. I did a lot of work. And Treat Yourself was yesterday. Treat Yourself Day was yesterday. So treat yourself. Go ahead. Sorry, Aunt. Keep cutting you off.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to think of how I want to word this because I think this, honestly, it's not a problem. Like, I know there was 200. I know there was a lot. But honestly, this is like good, healthy competition between retailers. There's, you find out how well your book is depending on how the resale aftermarket goes, how many people bought it, how good you are at your job. It's not easy. But I grew up in sports, and maybe Jen gets on me. Jen, I always had that mentality when I walked into a building, I spotted low man on the totem pole, and that's where I started. I beat him. You work to the next guy and the next guy and the next guy until you get, to where you're supposed to be. So everybody's like, oh, there's 200. I'm like, so I want to see where mine ends up on that 200 list. And then I know what kind of work I need to put in. Mm-hmm. The other thing is it shows other people's weaknesses. I mean, this is a competition for money. I'm trying to compete for customers. I'm trying to compete for collectability.
And I guess maybe that makes it easier for you because the market was so flooded with a lot of garbage, what they called exclusives that were just trash.
Quantity versus quality.
Or don't get me wrong, it would have been easier with less for sure. I mean, it would have been a ton easier. But, if I'm going to run from a challenge of 200 exclusives, then I'm not doing my job right. I didn't worry about it. Everybody's like, it's going to be so saturated. My books are badass. I'm good with where I'm at. I'm good with where I sat.
Really were. I'm not biased.
I mean, I work with good quality people. You know how it goes. But yeah, nobody should be afraid of competition. Whatever, guys. And the publisher end is getting a little ridiculous. I can say that. Like anybody with enough money to print one shouldn't be able to. You guys should have some history. Some know-how. What I hit.
I'm just speaking from I just heard some dogs barking.
Yep. So
you're saying basically when saturation hits, people start to gravitate towards quality. And we don't just put out shit. Anthony spends so much time and he works with the artists to come up with the concepts.
Well, I'm tired of everybody copying each other too. Come up with your own original ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and that's a thing and it's going to happen. And what's funny is I hate that whole was it copying's the best form of flattery? It's fucking not.
Agree with you on
It's
that.
copying.
But whatever, you know, it
Right.
happens, and you move on to the
Just
next
do
thing.
better. Like you're saying, like that pushes you harder to like go to the next like totem pole spot.
Right.
Like, don't copy someone else's idea and try to capitalize on someone else's success.
No shit. Like Trish did Stray Dogs, and that was like I picked that book was going to be a hit, and now everybody's got like parakeets and dogs and cats and it's like,
I
yeah,
love
come
it.
on, man.
All the big guys had all the dogs and all the animals appearing on their covers. I was like, I did that.
Yeah, it's called
Part of the
biters. A bunch of
So
biters,
check this out.
bro.
This is my guy right here. We grew up. We've known each other since 2nd grade, and he
Mhm.
can vouch for me. Getting comfortable is the most dangerous thing you can do in life and in business. So I want to throw a fit sometime. Laura's like my chill out, don't freak out. Takes a lot of
Whatever.
pressure to
At the
fix holes in
con,
walls.
you were chill. I took off to the Met because I couldn't handle it. You were like,
I
"Laura,
had to
got
find
this."
that. I had to find my zen though. I had to find my zen and not let shit bug me, because if I was comfortable and everything was easy, at some point it'd take a real bad dive and I'd be stuck with it, and it'd be hard to dig out. So
Jen
well,
doesn't have a
I'm glad you have the opinion you have on the lake of exclusives versus the fishbowl of your exclusives. Like, your exclusives were in line with what they should have been, and
well, I thought it was funny. Like I'm gonna say this, and guys, please nobody take this negative, because it was a fantastic cover. Like, take the Comic Mints cover with Ivan Tao. Okay, that cover was badass. Okay, but that's
Right,
issue
Loans of
38.
Brooklyn?
That thing came out 3 months ago. So what they did was they took a cover C and gave it a red background and waited for a con to come out. Fine, it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. I wanted one. Our issue was 42. It was something relevant. It was a lot of work. It was to the time frame. I'll work on my marketing for sure, but it's little nuances like that people need to pay attention to. This is shit they've had in their warehouse. All they did was wait for the next con. And take that how you want, because it's still a great cover. And if you got one, congratulations. But little things like that, like a lot of these books that came out and noticed, they've been out for a while.
We were talking about that too. Like, it was literally just held on to until the con came around. Then it was
like the Source Point books. Like, and I love Source Point. I love Garrett Gunn. But how many number one Red Ronins? It's been like 6 months since 3 months since that book dropped, and we're still seeing number ones dropping here and there.
We gotta let Jen talk real quick.
They've been dropping, like you said, for 6 months. You're saturating a market that's already been saturated.
Exactly, it's done.
We did it. Opinions.
All right, go ahead, Jen.
So James said around the 9 p.m. mark about print runs. So print runs is very important. You guys are very transparent. A lot of people aren't transparent about print runs. Print runs will also dictate what the potential value for later and like where it is for exclusivity. Now, when you do have cons do 3,000 print runs for Marvel, if it's unofficial con exclusive, they sell that years after years after years until it's gone, right? So, but they say 3,000 print run. Just be transparent about print runs and you're good.
Well, I'm trying to come up with like a Disney mentality. You know how they Volt movies? So
a Volt cover?
Yeah. So no, yeah, kind of like
or
that.
Volt
Like,
exclusive?
Let's be honest, that the print runs are ridiculous. It's stupid. 3,000 copies of Trade Dress, 1,000 you're talking 4,000 comics. It's the dumbest thing. Hence all the partner books. The cost is just too much. You got to spread it out. I wish there were, and this comes down to the trust in your retailer. I wish there was a way where I could buy these print runs, release a limited amount. And I told Laura, I go, what if we locked them away for 5 years? They'd have to trust us that they stayed locked away for 5 years before we recirculate overstock. But then it doesn't flood the market. And those are just ideas I'm playing with because
love that idea, but that's because I think you guys are awesome.
But you gotta trust retailers to do it.
Yeah, put it out as a diamond edition.
Right. And I hate the idea of destroying a book. I think that's the stupidest thing. So what do you do? That's the problem that we have.
Videos where I see people like burn half their print run or like tear them up or something. I'm like,
which validates the cost and it does make it more collectible, but it's terrible.
Well, like you intentionally did that.
Trish, would you buy a book that didn't have a print run stated? Like, I know of really big companies that do this. They put up an exclusive. If you ask the print run, they say, sorry, we don't disclose that. So why buy them?
It just depends on like the kind of collector you are. I would totally buy I would totally buy an exclusive that like didn't have a print run released if I really liked it, but that's because I'm a kind of collector that doesn't resell ever.
Yeah.
But
like, I
how
don't,
would
I
you
don't have some kind of
typically-
platform. So for me, it's less about and often is the exclusivity of something and more of like, do I just really freaking like it? If it's really cool, I want it no matter if everyone on this panel and all of our friends have it, kind of thing.
But if you really like it and it's a 3,000 print run and they're charging at the booth that's 50 plus, and then
if I really
because technically a 3,000 print run, you see a lower cost, and that's where people like at cons they go like old con exclusive used to be $20, and now that ain't the case anymore. It's gone up exponentially, and so they want you to pay a premium, but you're like, okay, well, wait, why am I paying a premium? I like the cover, but if you're telling me that you have thousands somewhere else that you're just going to put an estate cover on and then sell for more later, like I just want, like, when you pay an amount, you need to have a reassurance of why. So $20 was the going rate for a super long time.
So that's something that I'm just not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm as a fresh new baby collector, I don't know that. And so like my like what I'm coming into, I'm just like, that's,
which is kind of why we do these shows. Like when we give you a price range, like market, even going into the con itself, like we're like, hey, these are the ones that they posted. And yes, things happen on the fly at cons all the time. But at least now you know, well, it was this, what happened? Like, does it get damaged? Like, it's so people don't overspend. That's how I went from being a reader collector to looking more into the market, because a few times I overpaid for books. And then later I got really upset because I'm like, why did I overpay? Oh, I just didn't know. And at first it was bad on me because I didn't do research. I didn't know. But over time, I'm like, okay, I need to get into this because I'm tired of overpaying when other people who are smarter already know that knowledge. I just need to get it.
I guess I've never really thought about it as like overpaying, and more of like, and not in like a bad way, but it's more of like, I agree, like the knowledge thing, like I wasn't educated, or maybe I wasn't educated, but like even when I first got into it, there's like, you know, the MCU stuff drops and then like all of the books kind of flood the market and they go really high. Like I bought all of my Vision and Scarlet Witch books at the height when they were like hundreds of dollars. Like I need everyone to know I went on eBay and I spent like hundreds of dollars on like old school Scarlet Witch. And I don't regret it, to be quite honest. I don't regret it because I love them so much, but I do understand that there's like that like education aspect, but I don't know. There's like a part of me that's kind of like, I don't know if you still really love it, even after paying like $50. Yes, maybe I could have gotten it for $20, or I could have been smarter, have known that I've overpaid for it. And maybe I would have made a different decision. I'm also, if I love it enough, I'm not mad. So like,
what would you say to this?
I'm not doing anything with it after except
value
my boxes, but that's, I don't know. Also, I don't think anyone should probably follow my.
Don't follow Haley's lead. She's overpaying on eBay. Don't do
more money.
Well, okay, so let me.
That sounds so ignorant.
You know what though? Collect what you like and pay what you think it's worth to you. I mean, really, you're the one who has to answer for it anyway. But you know, I spent an embarrassing amount of money on 2 books. So, you know.
But what if you found out later that they were going to release it for that con price because they had like leftover because they
were free books that I paid an embarrassing fortune for.
But then what if they're like, Disney heard it and they're like, oh man, this went like crazy. Maybe what we should do is, if you're like one of those Disney member people, we'll put it on our special. Yeah, we'll put it on the special thing. And it's like, oh man, if I would have known like that, like how many they gave out, like what was the print run for that? And you knew it was higher. Like, okay, maybe someone else has a stack, or like it would maybe temper some like FOMO stuff, because the Disney stuff does sell and then it stays technically high because it's hard. It's when you get a free book at a con, it's really hard unless you go with a Storefolio and a bag and board. They get damaged.
They get banged the hell up.
Just put it in their tote and you're like.
So can I need to talk to this person here. You're combining 2 different forms of comic collecting. You can't compare modern exclusives to old school variants. I was telling this to Laura. My dream, absolute dream, is to be best friends with an 80-year-old man in my neighborhood, you know, bring him food and tacos when we're cooking, be super nice to him. And then one day when he passes away, I find out he's an old comic book collector and he left us his collection because we love him.
His whole collection.
Because that is the only way to truly come upon these really rare collections anymore. The books that are worth buying, these grails that this person probably hunts, you know, how many times has it been graded? How many hands has it passed? Because there's not very many of them. I get the rarity of it, but you're talking two different forms of collecting. There's plenty of value in exclusives, and there's plenty of TV shows and movies where they still retain their value. Think Walking Dead #1. So those are great books to have. You can still find them. It's exciting if you're new to the hobby. There's a lot of collectors. Nerdy Girl's a great example. I will never have the collection she has. That girl had a case with $500,000 worth of books, and that'll never ever be what I do. But if I want to contribute to the hobby, exclusives is where I can do it, and it doesn't diminish what I do. It's just a different form of collecting.
Do you remember Stray Dogs? What people were making?
Oh
remember
yeah,
Stray Dogs, Trish. Some of your variants, some of your.
I mean,
Exclusive
people bought cars off what they were flipping that thing for. I know people bank some cash on that, and that makes that's healthy for the hobby. It's not a ripoff.
It is healthy for the hobby because it keeps the creators creating, it keeps the artists doing art. What do you think, Joe?
About Stray Dogs?
Yeah, what do you think about Stray Dogs? Not a
Yeah,
fan?
Well, like so like I'm a hoarder. I mean, like I mean, I'll sell every now and then, but like I'm the type of person where like
Wait, you're a hoarder? Look at behind you.
Yeah, I mean,
Never
this is nothing.
The tip of that.
But like if I sell a book that I have like 10 copies of, I'm like shit, and I only have 9. You know, like I'm that kind of psycho. But it's the collectors that are doing this, and that's why we're at where we're at. So people are going to take advantage of the situation. Like if they're printing a book and then 5 years later, hey, I had this book and I had a whole bunch left over in my warehouse, I'm going to metalize it and make it a brand new variant. It's like, dude, that's not a thing, dude. Like that's just, I mean, that's where I see as people are ripping other people off. But like if it's something fresh and new, like Ant's got a Nintendo slip cover, and then Trish made this acetate thing for the Miles book. I mean, like that's the type of stuff I'm cool with. This other junk where it was a copy of another con, and then they brought it to this con, and they just changed a couple of things. I was like, that's crap.
Like what Ant did with the slip thing, the cover thing, didn't take away from the book. You didn't do anything to the book physically. You added something to it without damaging the base value
not
of the
adding
book.
staples to the book.
Yeah, that was limited too. It was limited.
Right. Well, and that was the whole concept. Like, I can't remember who said this to me. It might even been Adam, and he didn't say it this smart, but I'm gonna pretty it up. But he was like, if you're gonna ask top dollar for things, then you should have a top dollar product. Yeah. And if I'm gonna ask people for $20 to $30 for exclusives, I had to try to make it something extra. You know, just so it's not like everybody else.
I'd never done graffiti before, but I sure hell learned.
You killed that graffiti art. Yeah, so I think it's just two different realms of collecting, guys. And I'm gonna be super real with you right now. Exclusive making and launching, it's fucking dirty. It is gang wars because there's so much.
Oh man, it is.
We launched our Yoda tonight, and again, no disrespect to any other retailers, but somebody planned their retailer and moved it literally an hour before ours after they saw our advertisement.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They
sent me a message.
Very offended by that.
Well, the funny thing is they sent me a message and they were like, hey, this was totally an accident, but we go an hour before you. And I was like, was it though?
Yeah, totally an accident.
And because there was that whole no offense, thing said ahead of time, I was like, cool, I'll just go 5 minutes before you then and move my time up. And then, of course they were like, no, just to be cool, we'll move it back. And I'm like, oh, okay, appreciate that. But that's the game we play. And like Joe's saying, like the copying thing, like I didn't invent 8-bit art. I mean, that's okay. I didn't invent video game variants. I will claim this. I did bring it back to damn life because 2015 was the last big one that
so if somebody's doing it 10 minutes later after you did it, I mean, that's like, you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be quiet and let you guys move on the show. Laura and I will always try to make a product that's worthy of the money you're willing to spend with us. That's our thing.
So my sister, actually, this happened to her recently. We're not gonna don't post who it is, but she bought an exclusive because she really liked the cover, and she got it, and she's gotten your guys' exclusives before, so she knows the paper quality, right?
Yeah.
And she got this exclusive she was looking forward to from another store. She gets it, and she's like, she's so upset. She sent me a picture. And I'm like,
they didn't upgrade the paper stock.
No, it was such a bad
cover
quality. And she was like, I paid $30.
Screw that.
What did they?
like
What is this?
cover stock that they use that's basically interior pages?
Yeah. That's what they print on. And remember, Laura, like I was freaking out forever with damages. And Laura's like, well, can you pay for more paper? And I'm like, light bulb. Like, why didn't I ask for that? And so we hit them up and they're like, oh, yeah, cardstock. It's a little more expensive. And I'm like, where were you guys?
Like
I wish that your It cover, like the original It cover, would have been on the cardstock. It would have been awesome.
Oh, the black one? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
In the package,
when you said It cover, guys, just to tell you, let me tell you what it's like to work here. And Laura knows this. When those white It covers came in, Laura and I spent 8 hours easily between 2 different days with a damn eraser cleaning up the spines because it was a white cover. We cleaned every single book, all 500
it was a good
of them.
Eraser, Joe. Don't worry, it was one of the ones.
Oh, Joe, yeah, because it was a white cover, Joe. We hit it with the white gum eraser. You know, the little smudges by the staples, and Laura's like, this is stupid. I'm like, they look stupid. And her eye erased every single stupid cover. I was so pissed. We had a system though. It was like she'd erase it, and then I had like this this machine that I used to clean my PC. So I'd like blow all the little shavings away, and then I had a like a fine duster, and I would like dust it. And I'm like, all right, this one's good. And we did that for 2 days.
That's because the a-holes who designed the book put dark covers on the back.
All right, let's move forward a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Momoko.
Oh, this hurts my heart.
For any of you that are just joining, we are talking about New York Comic Con, about the oversaturation of exclusives. We have a retailer in the house. We have an artist in the house. We have a comic book presser, Joe, in the house.
Do you guys have a giveaway for tonight?
No.
But you're going to give us one.
Oh, yay. That's perfect. That's one of our con exclusives. That's our Vanish.
Oh, look at that.
I love
slip cover. Who was the artist, Ant?
Sajad Shad.
Shazad Shad. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that, you guys. But Trish, can you give everybody a brief synopsis on like what happened with Peach at NYCC?
Okay. So apparently there was some pushing and shoving in front of her table over some line space. There was some contention over where people were in the line because she was apparently doing signing at specific times and things like that. And of course, you have one of the hottest cover artists in all of Marvel at a show for the first time in ages since everybody's come out of COVID hibernation. Of course, it's going to go bananas. I immediately felt horrible when I saw this post in particular because she was talking about how mentally strong she needed to be to deal with this stuff. No, that hurts my heart. Then afterwards, the shitstorm of comments of people blaming her for what happened, for her not being able to do more. She was giving away free signatures.
Oh my gosh.
She was doing remarks for $20. I mean, like, no one does that.
You can smell the greed on that sentence.
Wasn't it 10 free, and then you had to get back in line if you wanted to get
another?
That's
exactly
me out.
But to me, I feel like that was like her first show, right? I don't know if it was or not. Like I'm not speaking for
it. It was her first NYCC.
Yeah. I have been to Baltimore Comic-Con a million times, but last year was the first year since Stray Dogs had come out. I was not expecting what happened to me there at all. And I was not prepared. And had my comic book Sherpa man not shown up, I would have probably been just like Peach with chaos and gray hair and crying, and it would have been a mess. So I felt immediately bad because people were blaming her in these commentary videos. They were saying that, she should have been in control of her line. No, she's an artist. Absolutely. She draws. She's not in security. She's not in
Trish,
line management.
does Image give you somebody when you're doing these events? Like, does
No.
Marvel provide the artist some
Well-
type of management at these events?
No.
They don't,
Nothing?
but they should.
So some cons will provide.
I mean, I don't
handlers.
know if they would do that for her, but like I had to go get somebody from Baltimore Comic Con to come help me, like tape off my area to set up a line. So I know that they did that for her at New York Comic Con, but there wasn't somebody there managing her line. She had her manager at her table, and I think that was her husband. Don't quote me though.
It's not typical for publishers to, especially for what I've noticed in the comic book industry, to send a representative from the publishing house with a specific writer and or artist. It's very rare that happens. And
But I mean, if you're somebody who runs New York freaking Comic Con,
no, I agree with you.
Right.
It's just like because
Jen. Hold on, Jen wants to say something. What's
So
up, Jen?
I've worked at cons before in my younger days, and the cons that I always worked for provided handlers, right? And sometimes they would have someone that was a part of their management team would send a professional handler who was there to kind of be the tough ass, right? To be the not fun one, to keep this person so they are fed and have water and
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I had going on at Baltimore.
And then or a volunteer, well then I like this artist, I'll help out with their line, I'll make sure things stay orderly.
Yeah.
So when you find out that there's no volunteer or handler from, again, Speech Mogo, for them it was really surprising, because again, all the cons I've ever worked for always had somebody with them, or at least a person that was in that like comic.
And when I worked at BronyCon, I mean, think about BronyCon. They had the voice actors, and they had artists from the comic book, they had writers from the show, they had the musicians come, and every one of those people was assigned a handler, someone to keep them on task, someone to be the, line watcher so that nobody got out of line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised. It really shocks me that no one did that for one of the biggest names in Marvel Comics. Usually, could you imagine somebody doing that in like Scotty Young's line?
Yeah, usually there's also a person in charge of either Artist Alley or, in specific, the comic book creators, and that's their job, is to go around to make sure everything's copacetic and cool. But real quick, did we say thank you to BB66?
Yes. Briefly,
Okay.
but yes, thank you. We love you.
I did a small woo.
This is an intense show.
Well, I want to weigh in on this.
So, well, I just wanted to finish my initial thought was that as soon as I saw this post, I sent Peach an Instagram message, and I asked her if she needed anything to let me know, because I've been in this situation where you feel like, you failed because you weren't able to make everyone happy. And she did absolutely nothing wrong, and anyone blaming her is wrong, and I will die on that hill.
You told her, is there anything I can do for you? And Peach goes, can you give me a Stray Dogs #1 with a ring on it?
I absolutely would do it in a heartbeat. I would pull it from my personal collection.
There you go.
Aw.
Yeah, what you wanted to weigh in?
I was just gonna say, like, I heard all the comments. I heard the story from a couple different angles on what happened. And I think the funniest thing to me, like listening to the comments and hearing the story, is that how people hold artists and creators and retailers to the same accountability that they hold themselves to, and we're not all the same. So like, I'm different from Peach. Obviously, she's again, none of this is meant to be sexist, but she's a petite woman that doesn't live in the United States.
She's very,
you're canceled. Get out of here.
She's tiny.
She's told us that. She's like, I'm very.
She's a little timid. She's quiet, and she does her work. And you put her in a busy ass New York Comic Con with a lot of really testy people, and people expected her to handle herself. It's not like you came to my booth and got crazy with me. I'm a 6 foot tall, 230-pound Hispanic male. Like, I'm going to handle a line differently than her. And they were like, well, what was her problem? Why couldn't? That's her jam.
I heard 2 altercations happen.
Yeah.
One, a bunch of guys were screaming, and they were screaming at her, and they were screaming at each other.
So they got into the fight. My guy was doing facilitation there at the booth, and he said 2 guys got into a fight because a guy said, I was told to come back at this time, so he was moving up the line. A guy stopped him and said, no, I've been standing here for an hour, and he's like, this is my time to come back, and that's where it started. Once they started yelling, he said he just saw her because he was next to her getting things signed for the CGC, and she just slowly disappeared until she was completely.
Well, that's intimidating for women to have.
Absolutely, it is.
Melt under the table.
That's
No one will find
she,
me.
and she did it extremely slowly not to draw attention to herself until she was gone. And then the dudes were like, "Where the hell did she go?" And that's where she had disappeared to.
Perfect. She didn't have to throw a smoke bomb. She just kind of disappeared into the background, or into under the table, or wherever she went. She removed herself. That's what a professional does. A professional takes herself out of it. Yeah. And anybody who blamed her for anything that happened, even if she made an outside arrangement with a different person, that's up to her as the artist or as the controller of that table. I made plenty of outside deals at Baltimore Comic Con for people to come back.
I'm 5'11" and change, just to be clear. in shoes, probably 6 feet.
So I feel like she's taking a lot of heat unnecessarily. So I felt really, really awful,
But it all comes back to greed. It's people that didn't get what they wanted, so they can sell it or collect it. Or they do the same thing with us. Like when Genie sold out, it was our fault. It was like
they probably already sold the signatures or the remarks.
That's what I'm saying.
Pre-sell.
You know how many people ask me to ship Genie books daily? When are the Genie's going to ship? I haven't even gotten them yet. Well, I need them. Why did you flip them?
Which ones? The black ones?
Yeah,
they're not even out yet.
I literally got them yesterday. I opened the first box today.
But they won't go out till after the con.
Ship yet, Aunt?
I'm gonna bring you yours. We're hanging out in Balti.
Where's Trish's?
I got your dark red blinks too.
Yeah, I love you.
I got you.
Like so. It's like Peach doesn't know she's a big thing. Like
no, it's not.
Nobody like pulled Peach aside. Hey, it might get kind of crazy in New York. You might want to.
But it shouldn't be her responsibility, because something that Aunt said of just like you guys being retailers versus like right, the different like categories of people, where I feel is like just like so absolutely wrong is like Peach shouldn't be accountable at all for any of it, because she's an artist. As someone who works in publishing, like, and works often as like the bad guy for authors and for people in publishing, is like the role of like Marvel or those people is to play the bad guy, is to be the person standing there or emailing people or doing whatever, is to say, no, stand back. This is like, so that the artist, the creator, the writer, whomever that person is, never has to be the bad guy, so that the fans, readers, like people who are enjoying their art and that creator have a very great relationship. And there needs to be another person who is responsible to take all of the heat. So the fact that Peach being as big as we all know her to be, and that Marvel, and like Jen, you're saying like New York Comic Con or all of these cons typically have like people who stand in, or like Trish, you were saying like that Baltimore had a person for you.
Oh no, they didn't have a person for me. I had to find one, and then one actually showed up. I didn't even know who he was from anybody. He just showed up. I was like, welcome to my booth, mister.
That's problematic. It's like the con and or your publisher should be there.
I agree.
To prevent that from happening, because the creator of anything should never have to play bad guy. That is like my core belief. Like Trish, like you should be able to go to a con and be like, I want to be here for all of my fans. And then if you can't, there needs to be somebody who is the person being like, Trish can't do this. And
I tried to get Trish to hire me for her booth. I got no problem being an asshole.
Like,
well, Rich is also, my personal prick for hire. He calls himself. He'll be mean to people if I need him to be.
Trish, I called your con Sancho. I'm con Sancho for Trish.
Was it Peach's husband, her, and then maybe her translator is from what I like? Was there even a translator there?
I do not know who was with her. I don't actually know any of the arrangements.
It was her husband.
Yeah, it was her husband. But like,
been responsible. All that is to say, none of them should have been. The fact that
who
had to handle that or anyone.
Is Peach her own manager?
Well, no, she's not. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I can't speak to her.
Whoever booked her for New York, right?
Whoever booked her for New York should have used their damn head and said, hey, we've got Peach Momoko coming. And you know how polarizing it is.
And if she booked herself, like say for example, she booked herself, Marvel being like consistently using
omnipotent and
also New York Comic Con.
Huge presence there.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys forget we're at a nerd convention, though. This is and I mean this lovingly because I am a part of the community. But nerd conventions are a place for you to walk around and pat yourself on the back if you're a creator or a publisher. Like me, I walk around there like, I love your thing. And I'm like, hey, yeah, that's cool, huh? You forget to focus on all the little details like, oh, I got to take care of this because you're too busy walking around with your t-shirt on. I got my Bird City swag. I wear black and yellow shoes.
I wouldn't trade that whole anxious weekend emotional roller coaster ride that I was on for anything. It was amazing. Where else can you go and feel like a rock star for 3 days?
Your line was glaring at you when you ate almonds.
Yeah.
I came over by Trisha's booth and she took like a 5-minute break to eat some almonds real fast. And people in the line were like,
it probably didn't help that I was walking by screaming Patricia as loud as I could.
They were like annoyed that she was like eating for a second.
I was like, Patricia! She was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like,
no, she took a little break to eat some almonds and they're all glaring at her in the line. It was crazy.
Yeah. But usually there's, gotta keep my energy up.
Usually there's also like a vendor room coordinator.
Yeah.
And then sometimes Artist Alley does get kind of hectic. So they just so the vendor coordinator is just the vendors, like the people who are, selling in those bigger booths. And then there's one for the artist. I'm surprised that no one came across it and was like, this is a problem. Let's help.
Well, that's what I'm kind of getting at is that if you think about it, Marvel's booth was upstairs, tucked in the corner, and there were a million employees over there walking around with Marvel.
That's where she should have been. She should have been there the entire weekend. She should not have been down there in the art.
They were very busy. They were very busy. We're here. We're Marvel. Check me out in my swag. And I was thinking, oh, that's cool. And then I hear that she got, bullied downstairs. And I'm like, oh, where were you guys at on that one? They were partying, enjoying, the pats on the back. Like
right. Yeah, that makes me so angry.
Yeah.
I mean, I did 2 signings at San Diego Comic-Con at Image's booth. Of course, I didn't have a table, but I'm sure I could have sat down somewhere. I could have weaseled my way in somewhere, but I didn't.
The point is, everybody in the chat, we got 80 live people, guys. Behave. And bullying is something that should never, ever be tolerated, even at cons. So if you can help, you should help.
I was just, thinking like none of these people, it's been broken down into flippers versus resellers versus PC people
it's a bloodbath
versus retailers. It's been broken down so many different ways, but at the very bottom of it, people just need to treat each other with some respect and remember that artists are people, not machines.
It's never going to happen when there's money involved. They could give 2 shits about you or I, Trish, as long as they can flip the book or buy the book or get the. Yeah, I get accused of bots constantly, and I clean every bot sale by hand and respond to every message. And bots got it. Sure, you did, buddy.
What were you gonna say, Jen?
Me 20 minutes later.
Con etiquette. Just that I think people forgot about it because it's maybe been a while. Well, I guess
it's been a while since people have been out of their houses. I mean, you can cut people enough slack, but it's jarring to be around this many people all at once anymore.
Can I throw some shade? Or am I getting in trouble? Just a little bit.
A little shade.
Okay.
Only a little.
Selling platforms are the cause of a lot of this attitude. And everybody has the one that popped to their mind, but they're all guilty of it to an extent because they provided people that love this hobby to turn it into a business, which whose dream isn't that? Okay. I love comics. I love to collect. I love to read. Wait, I can make a living off of it. How enticing is that? The problem is it was too easy. You guys remember Jurassic Park when the guy's like, it was too easy. You took what other people did, and then you just everybody took the fast lane. You know how many people quit their jobs to be full-time sellers?
Right. You put your work on the shoulders of people that earned it, and you were so busy whether or not you could. They
don't start from the ground up. They found a platform. They built it up as fast as they could. They made money, and they go, this is what I want to do with myself. And now it's how many Instagram posts I see every day? It's like, sorry, guys, I got to take a break for a while. I got to get a job again. It's not working out. Like, it's every day I see somebody new posting this.
What, Jen?
I'm surprised that eBay allows when things aren't out yet. Because now that I'm
pre-sales, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until this week.
But that's not if you don't have it in hand, you shouldn't be allowed to sell it. Because I think that's where you get all this stuff because look, even if you buy it online, it could come damaged. You don't know. I'm going to this con, I'm going to get it. Well, you don't know what the lines are going to be like. And
Well, that's like the San Diego
Exactly.
thing. That's all the San Diego exclusives. All that shit's on eBay before the con even happens.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't- that's
before
like-
they have it in hand.
Can't eBay go? It hasn't released yet. No,
Right.
we're taking this off.
No, they don't do it, but they should have to prove that they have it. But what they'll, as a victim of someone who's of that, or not a victim, what they would do is if they weren't able to get the exclusive, they would cancel your order for it. So you wouldn't know until after the show happened that you didn't secure it, whatever it was.
Hold on, look at this is it.
That's so fun. I'm
But
I like Latasha.
but
Tasha, I just need you to know I love you, and also that's fucked up.
Latasha. But you get what I'm like, taking advantage, not taking advantage, capitalizing on a good pick, that's fine, but turning it into a business is a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
Laura,
hold
how
on.
long have we done-
I'm actually going to bring up what I think you're going to say.
What?
Trish, do you remember the Stray Dogs incident where we sold out on that book? Anthony and I, guys, this is 100% true. We have the messages. We got death threats from people.
Yeah, I
who didn't
remember.
who didn't get
Sad.
one of the it covers. And I told Anthony they were so angry because they felt like we had stolen from them. Because some of them, I'm assuming, had already pre-sold on eBay. And when they didn't get their copy, they were so mad that they threatened to find us and burn our house down. Like it got crazy.
So they'll go
Joe,
to
I'm
jail?
serious.
I'm
They'll go
just
to jail
so sorry.
because
In
they
the
couldn't sell a
world,
comic.
What?
They'll go to jail. They'll
Yeah, they would rather be convicted of murdering two people in
I
their
called
house.
Trish and I was crying.
arson.
Like, they're gonna kill us.
You know what's funny though?
Tasha's hustling though. Good
what
for
world
her.
is like sending someone death threats over comic books
It gets better. It gets better. Hold on.
anywhere where you're like,
Hey, it
wow,
wasn't just any comic; it was Stray Dogs.
It was Stray Dogs. To
You
be
know what I'm
fair.
saying?
On the market
Stray
right
Dogs.
at the time.
wait, Z, how do you get me there? Like, walk me through that. Like,
You want to know what's something that's funny,
Sophie.
though? Laura,
What?
this is
Oh,
funny.
man.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but this guy right here that I talk about, hold on, I gotta put him back up. Tony,
You're like,
my guy, he works for the government. This dude's got one of those badges that he like calls me ahead of time. He's like, "Is it cool?" Like he's got to be like clear before he comes over. So fuck with me, see what happens. Anyway,
We
the
did
second thing
report
was
people.
we-
Don't call people out. You sound like Tony Stark trying to get his house bombed
I'm just
by a
saying.
helicopter.
I'm just saying. It
What's wrong
takes
with
one
you?
phone call, and my dude will fly down here from DC and do what you got to do. But my house will be fine. Anyway. This is the better part. So we felt terrible that there weren't enough, correct? So we called Image and we said, is it too late to up the print run so we can have more available for people?
Oh, that was a bad idea. People
It,
got
it sounds great, right? Like we're gonna help people out.
good
And
in theory.
we started messaging people going, oh, you had some comments on, and we'd like to sell you a copy. So we start going through these hand and picking people and relaunch some more just to make it a little bit more. I actually had somebody hit me up and go, so are you gonna refund me some difference? And I'm like, for what? And he goes, well, now the print runs less, so isn't it worth less? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No,
right
now the print runs
Wait, how
more.
much was it?
so-
No, I forgot.
$24.99.
That's what it should have been.
And he wanted me to refund him $5 because I added 200 more print to it so I can have enough to take care of the people that.
But caveat, we ended up taking any profit from the extra print run and
Oh,
we
yeah.
donated it to an animal shelter, and we put proof on our Instagram that we took the extra profit and donated it so people
So we did
wouldn't
all the
know.
extra work just to take the extra money to donate to an animal shelter just to calm everybody down, and they still weren't happy.
It was
it's
crazy.
the most stressful situation.
Oh,
ever.
so stressful.
So can you not see why? Like,
what the heck?
can
It
you
was
not
really
see
stressful.
why Peach Momoko's table went absolutely ballistic. You know, can you not see why?
Why?
Because no matter what she would have done, it wouldn't have mattered what she did. It wouldn't have pleased everyone. There would have been all this backlash after the fact anyway. So why she should just remove herself from the situation, which is what she did. Sunday, she canceled all her activity. She did like a signing at Marvel's booth and then didn't do anything at her own.
But she did this instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But then we went to Midtown and
Yeah.
cited their store.
So, quick question for Latasha, because you said that you have pre-sold. If you pre-sold Peach Momoko stuff and you were in line and you see people like yelling at her to hurry up and a fight breaking out, and you're like, okay, I pre-sold some stuff. I think that you are, I mean, just from the little bit I've seen you in comments, right, that you wouldn't be mean towards Peach. You kind of just take it as it is. Like, okay, that's like my loss, or I'll just stand here until I get it, right?
Yeah.
But you're not going to yell at the artist. You're not going to like make her uncomfortable. Like if you saw her dip slowly behind and go into the table, I would
just
like
see her like this,
oh,
like
man.
Yeah.
Like
hearing.
Yeah. Exactly.
right? Like you wouldn't. I feel like I hold you that standard. Like you wouldn't do what those people did, which is
Right.
Also, why are these people? I'm just really concerned.
It's the money. Money
I
drives
think
people
that
crazy.
people lost their humanity.
Stray dog situation that you guys experience. I just have a really hard time conceptualizing that people in their day-to-day life like wake up
And threaten people's lives over books.
Yeah, it just feels really like.
Well, they threaten people's lives over the money, over the speculated money.
They felt
Right.
like we stole from them because they had made money off of flipping a book that they didn't receive from us. And so it was
Right.
this anger that was so rooted in the money part of it. And I doubt, I mean, I'm trying to be nice to the person that threatened us. I
No.
doubt he actually would have set our house on fire and killed us, but
Of course, but to say that, to even threaten Simran, that's incredibly like I don't.
And then you're like, I'm trying to be nice to this guy who threatened my house.
I did that,
No.
I would feel
That's
really
Laura, though. That's
intensely.
Laura.
I
She'll
would
break bread.
feel so much anxiety and stress
Caused me
that
too much
someone
beef.
even dared to say that to me because you just never know how crazy people are. So like I just
That's where you got to go and set their house on fire first.
yes,
What?
obviously.
Excuse me, I have your
You
address
know what I mean?
now. Where do you live,
Like,
friend?
Joe's my spirit. Joe's my spirit
Like
animal.
scrolling up,
Yeah.
what was your order and what was
Mhm.
the shipping?
Right.
address?
Yeah, I've got an extra copy for you. Just, what's your address?
Yep.
I'll
Thank
bring
you.
it to you. I'll bring it to
Okay,
you.
so sending,
Thank you.
dynamite.
Ding dong, your house is
You
gone.
know what though? And I guess you never know. Oh, go ahead.
real
Jen.
quick, Latasha said that they wouldn't stay in line for any money. It would have been the whole show. But then if you scroll down to sort of recently, Latasha said, yeah, that.
Yeah.
But she also seems so nice just looking at her. Would have got the goons to help protect her. That's
You know
great.
what? So
Because you're a
what I was
good
gonna
person.
say- right. What I was gonna say is, thank goodness that there's so much bark and no bite in this community. There's so many chirpers. They're so passive aggressive. It's stupid. I actually had somebody at the con say that I'm not approachable and I'm very standoffish. And I'm like, that's just my face. I know, right?
he's so
But
nice.
well,
Like,
you
if
know, when I
somebody
saw you
threatens-
at your booth, you were like this. You kind of looked like a bouncer.
I'll
I
make
was
a correction that actually.
I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how I am. If somebody threatens my home, myself, my family, I'm coming at you even before you even get to my house.
I got people.
And
Joe.
I
right,
you know,
even
I don't
from-
take threats lightly. Threats to me, you're basically putting me on notice. So
Yeah.
I got to do what I got to do.
That's how
I hope
Peach
this-
felt. She felt
wait. I hope this guy's watching. So, Laura,
God,
you know what I'm going to say? I
I'm
hope
here
he's
in
somewhere in here.
Redwood.
So, what was the last launch? What was the last launch that sold out? Maybe Dark Ride or something? Something that
Yeah.
sold out on their website.
Dark Ride.
And,
Or 8 billion genies or Dark Ride.
and so the guy hits me up, sends me a text message, you know, your stupid website, you guys suck. I'll never buy from you again. I was like, and this is what I sent him very nicely. I said, no problem. You know, I have some on standby that I recouped. I like to offer them out to people that are cool about the situation, but that's not obviously you. So have a great day. You know, that was my jab back. He's like, oh,
Wait,
you just wait. You just wait till you see my Instagram post. I'm like, let me know your tag. I'll follow you. He was like, no, you just wait. It's coming
Okay.
Sunday. Sunday came, no post. So I message him. I'm like, I'm looking, bro. I don't see shit. Crickets. Thank goodness people aren't as confrontational as me and Joe, because it would be an interesting world in this community. But yeah, he never showed. And that's what I was thinking. Like a lot of these guys that get all chirpy, it's keyboard warriors. Yeah.
I mean,
Laura always has to talk me off the ledge because I get all typey, all aggressive, and she's like, delete. And I'm like,
I do that.
let me
I
read
do
it.
that though. I'll type out all of my thoughts all aggressively, and
I'll
then
be
I'll read it again, and I'll go, "Man, I sound like an asshole." Delete.
Yeah, like people always start shit with me first, man. You know, like, and that's the reason that's why I'm the way that I am.
Out, Marianne.
But like, I don't try and get people to get pissed off at me. That's not my goal, but like I just call it like I see it.
Joe, you'll like this.
Funny.
Haley was gonna
That's funny, right?
respond to a message for me to a creator, and she's like, "But he thinks it's you." And I go, "Just put in some spelling errors and some slang. He'll think it's me."
And she was all, yo, what
She's like,
happened?
"I can't do that," and I'm like, "It's fine. Just say bro a lot and like have a spelling
Oh,
error.
they're gonna think it's me.
And I
It'll
was,
be fine.
I was like,
Just put in bro. That's a dead giveaway.
Just put bro and a spelling error.
hey, dude.
Hey, dude," and I'm like, "That is not no."
You gotta say bro.
And I was like,
Dude, that was
ruin my
a fun
shit.
Nickelodeon show back in the day.
Right?
Bro, you messing with Trish? I'm
Bro.
gonna get you, and you'll
Bro.
never see me
convinced
coming.
that anytime I answer anything that is from me, everyone just knows it's not you. I'm like, I don't sound as cool.
Yeah, Anthony
Dude,
has
it
his
totally
own-
does. It's like apologies. That was our person. So
And like, I used
the
too
other
many exclamation marks. They
the
will
other
know.
Ryan, the other Ryan Brown. That's not me. Apologies. That was our, and I was like, it's so well written.
Hold on,
That
guys.
totally
There's
wasn't me.
almost 90 of you watching right now. Please give the show
90,
a thumbs
what's
up. We have Trish Forstner. She is the co-creator of Stray Dogs in the House. Haley
Sophie.
Shy Girl is part of our Tuesday Comic Book Women crew, and she joined us on Friday this week, which was lovely. Joe at Red Hood Comic, the best comic presser in the game. Jen
Damn
Comic
right.
Aficionado. She's our Yoda / our golden heart of the show. You're always like the best one. And then Ant Bird City Comics, we are giving away a Vanish New York Comic Con exclusive with the Bird City Comics Nintendo slipcover.
Ninja Gaiden. Who remembers that? You played halfway through the game, put in 6 hours, and then it got overly complicated, but you couldn't quit and you hated the fucking game.
That's what happens. We were just talking about Peach Momoko. So she did do another signing. I thought it was interesting that in this description, she says that she will say no if she recognizes any of the dealers. Has any word come out about who these dealers were?
Nope. But
Not
they
that
don't wanna
I've
tell
heard.
me.
And I'll bet you $10 you never hear who those people were.
Really? You would think it'd be out by now. Like somebody would have
I don't
leaked.
think
No.
so. I feel like
Because
she
then
had-
if you start seeing
class,
accusations flying, you start seeing that happening, you're going to see those people come up with alibis so goddamn fast.
But that's the thing, like as far as retailers are concerned, you really don't know what a lot of them look like. Like I met a bunch of them that I've talked to a ton, but you know, you put face to text messages and stuff. And I mean, not a lot of them have shows like this where I can hop on and people go, "Oh, that's Anthony." Like I met Sean from Comics Elite. I've never met him in person. I dealt a lot with him. I met Comic Kingdom of Canada retailer. What is his name now? Spencer. Never, and he's tall too. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Fuck is this guy?" He's like, "Spencer," and I'm like, "Oh shit, all right, cool." Fucking coming up, walking all tall. Shit.
Yeah, look at
Come up on
Barney.
you.
He's busting your balls. Joe's is so good at pressing that he can fix Ant's pressing.
He ain't wrong.
He's not wrong.
I think that, people just need to learn to be respectful. And I do think that, she set rules and people look for ways around those rules at the show.
That's
as
how
well.
it works, man.
Because like because I had set a limit of 10 or whatever, I set a limit of 5 at my booth and people would come with 6 or 7. And me, I just don't like telling people no. I don't like being a bad guy. So I'm just like, whatever, scribbling away, furiously.
Yeah.
So she was doing the same thing. Somebody will bring her 12. Somebody will bring her 15. She's still going to sign them, because she's not the bad guy. She's doing what she's supposed to do.
You shouldn't have to be the bad guy. That's like the
No.
biggest point of it. Like, I think that especially like artists like you or her who have like reached a certain kind of, I don't know, just like it, like clout, should either like the publisher or whoever should have a handler, or the con should know enough about the people who they're bringing into it, should then have people there, because you guys should not ever have to be the bad guy. That should never be your role. And that I feel very strongly about, is that someone else should be there and like count the comics and be like, okay, but you can only have 5 before they even get to you, before you even have to say anything.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, you should never be put in that position, because so often you're going to probably feel like, I don't want to say no to someone who likes and supports me. Like,
They did that with signatures. To get a signature, they went through the line and got signed you in, made sure you only had one.
Personalize it 18 different ways to Sunday, and then be like, I'm gonna give you this then. Yeah.
Joe gets this. Joe will get this because he manages a big facility. If you fail to plan, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
There you go.
And that's what I feel like these cons are. It's like open the doors and collect the cash. It's like, no, there's got to be a little more to it, guys.
Well, like, okay,
Um,
so I went to a signing, or not a private signing, a shop signing for Scotty Young. I didn't have to. I bought a VIP package to go and meet him because you could take 6 books to be signed. I picked my 6. I went there. He said, I'll sign whatever you want. You didn't have to do this. And I was like, I'm a rule follower.
Yeah.
I follow rules. It's respectful of your time and everyone else who's
keeps
here.
the line moving. It's respectful to everybody behind you. I
I even took all the books out of the bags and boards ahead of time because I'm like, I'm not that. I mean, this is how I want people to treat me. So
I
I'm
went
gonna
to
walk up
Vegas
to
Con.
someone.
Check this out. I went to Vegas Con. I got a gold foil Venom back here. Venom Lethal Protector #1. And there were 6 creators that all had a hand in creating Venom. Okay. And I'm like, I'm going to bring my 1 book and I'm going to get it signed by all 6 creators and I'm going to get it graded. There was a dude in front of me that had like 200 books in his box. And I had to stand there behind him. I was literally right behind him. And as he unpacked and had them all signed, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because they put them 1 through 6 side by side. So you kind of went down the line. And I had to wait for each creator to sign 200 books before I can get my 1 book signed. And of course, it was because it's somebody that was online, somebody that took a pool list, somebody that collected a lot of cash to do it for other people. It's like, get a fucking job, guy.
Bro, like he couldn't let you go with that 1 book, dude.
I do that at the grocery store. When I pull in the car with the line, the guy's like bread and peanut butter. I'm like, go in front of me, guy.
I would have torn up one of his books, dude.
I had gone Baltimore Comic-Con. I was getting one thing signed by one of the people that they had there. In front of me was a man who had a long box of stuff.
There you go.
And the person who was signing pointed to me and said, "Is that the only thing you have?" Because he was getting ready to leave. And he said, "Come over here." So he signed my 1 thing and I skirted out of there. And he told the other guy to come back later or tomorrow or like whatever the next day. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Well, check this out. Respectfully disagree.
Let Jen needs to say
real quick. Respectfully disagree. Guys that do this for a living contact the publisher or the handler, and they make time before or after the con to do it, not during.
Yes.
So this is
Jen
not
was
his
going to
job.
say that and you ruined it.
But I did say like,
sorry, Jen. Do your thing, Jen.
But it sounds
Co-sign.
shadier when you call it that. Like I said something about prearranged like times and deals, but like it sounds shady, but it's not. Like if a big retailer has a giant pull list and they contact you, and that shit's not done the morning of the show, it's done weeks ahead of time.
This is a perfect example. We have a book with Shortbox. You're supposed to do You're supposed to do a remark and a signature. Did I say I'm going to walk over and get in your line and drop off $50 and screw everybody behind me? We have a scheduled time to get it done.
Take all those books and throw them across the hall.
So no, the professional way to do it is to contact it. If this is your job, Trish will take my call and she'll say, okay, here's a time and a place for us to do this, where it's not in the middle of a Comic-Con, where the fans can get to her. I'm not going to take that time from them.
Or so even like 10 years ago, I remember always seeing that person with a short box and going, it was a X-Men writer artist, like from Bronze Age. And I can't remember exactly, but I remember being behind that person and the artist being like, do you have a business card? On your business card, write how many autographs you want, and I'll take care of you after the show, and I'll give you a call and put it aside. And then I got to go. And then ever since then, it's been cemented in my brain of like, that's con etiquette. If you're just going for like a few little books, then go ahead, wait in that line. And if you do want that lot and you don't have a connection, then you go with a business card or piece of paper and be like, hey, I want to buy this many. This is my number and this is my email. Here you go. I'll get these 2 now and then I'll get the rest later.
Absolutely. Because, and they're right. They're not going to pass up money. If I dropped off a business card at a creator booth and said, I did not get a hold of you in time, but if you'd like to sign the 200 comics I have and whatever you're going to charge, that person's going to reach out to me. That's just how it works, because they're not, that's what they're there to do. They're there to make money that weekend. There are proper ways to do it, but you don't get in a line with 200 comics.
Jen, what else would you say?
Sorry. A.G. Surfer. Yeah. I think it was Chris Claremont. He was super cool.
What else would you say qualifies? So you're saying if you have an excessive amount of books, contact ahead of time. What else, Jen, would be con etiquette that you'd like to recommend?
Managing expectations.
In what way?
I think people, when they go in, they're expecting like And like, yes, it's nice to have things quickly, but when you go to a booth and like, oh, well, they're away, they're getting something to eat. Like everyone needs to eat and drink and use the bathroom. It's really unfortunate when you see vendors and artists and creators, and you look like they're doing a little pee-pee, like I have to use the bathroom, but they're trying to get everything done, and you're like, okay, like I can wait. You want to do a lot of things, but just take a breath. Okay, relax.
Everybody's chill, right, Joe? Is that
Dude,
the
these
moral of the
shows are
story?
a lot of work.
Everybody just needs to chill, Joe. Is that your advice?
I would say so. Like, just that instance with people just, tying up an artist's time with, short boxes. And I mean, that's gotta suck. Like, there should be limits. Hey, I'm only signing 2 books. I want to have a chance to talk to all my fans. Only signing 2 fucking books. If you got any more than that, you're just trying to make money off of me,
And how
Just
fun
2
is it
books.
to lay out all your books and be like, oh, I got to do a draft. I got to pick my favorite 2 to get them signed, as opposed to I'm just going to bring them all and tie up the line.
Well, I agree with Joe. I like even the people who've like I mean, I don't know if anyone here has done it, but just like going in the line twice, like to me, even that, I would feel kind of a lot of shame around, because it's like, I don't know.
I had people come in my line 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It didn't. That doesn't.
Oh, okay, so maybe that's like the other perspective. Like me personally, I would just be like, I'm sorry, all of the shame. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Oh no! I mean, like I had a lady.
I feel so bad because I just see it as like I'm taking up a spot of someone else, and there's like, maybe it's like 5 signatures or whatever the case may be, and you go and you do it, and then to kind of
A penny.
So like I would have like a person who came through with like a wagon that had like a short box on it, and she said, "All right, I'm gonna do my whatever it was, 10." And I said, "Thanks, 10. Sign, sign, sign. All right, go back in the line, and I'll get you when you come back through." So she would wait the whole time. Came back through. I did it again. And
I can appreciate that, especially if someone has like a short box, instead of being like, do all of my short box, like let me do the 10 and then come back around. I feel like I get whatever I get on my first time around, and then
I'm done.
And then I'm never seeing you again. I'm so sorry you saw my face in the first like that's
No, that's no.
I think we're all in consensus here. Don't be an asshole. It's kind of the moral of the story.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've seen people walking around with short boxes on a little pulling cart. No more. No more of that. That's all I'm going to say. No more.
No more short boxes?
No more pulling your short box around, just attacking these tables because you're going to sell it on, whatnot.
Laura,
no more.
I think you're getting replaced. She's staring into my soul.
Oh my gosh. You and that guy. Oh, you got your
He's like a baby.
She's a baby.
Oh my
God.
Oh, Joe's dog.
Such a baby.
She wants attention. She's like,
Simba.
right here. Oh, it's a baby.
Look at her little belly.
What's her name?
This is Lola.
Can we
Don't touch
take
Lola.
a poll? Can we take a poll right now? I asked Laura for one thing for Christmas.
Oh my God, we're not doing this right now.
I want another pug. One more.
I don't know how to do a poll.
I'll get another Yorkie.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I have one dog and she's amazing, but she gets so bored without the kids and she sleeps all day, and like the door opens, she's like, and I'm like, not a child. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, she needs
a buddy.
What? A buddy.
I used to have a husky and 2 Dalmatians, and I had to put them down. They were rescue dogs, and I had them for like 10 years. And like after that, I was like, no more dogs. And then I got hustled into this.
Look at this
What a little
Penny.
What a
that
little
one's
ham.
broken.
Penny, what are you doing? Yes.
Jen found this shirt, which I think
little
sums
ham.
up New York Comic Con. New York fucking Comic Con.
I want that shirt.
I want this shirt too. I feel like I could walk around, and this basically sums up my experience with this.
I want both of you to get that shirt, take a photo, and send it to me.
Can we? It's on
I'm super down.
haul.com, $28. And again, I think this would be a good reminder for people out there that Comic Cons are supposed to be fun. Comic Cons are supposed to be this really positive, amazing, good energy. And this last one just didn't feel like that. And I think that that's responsibility lies on every single member of this community, whether you are an artist, a retailer, a reseller, a collector, whatever. We need to kind of put this back into the comic book world. Agreed?
Can I paint it in a little bit more perspective? And I think Laura will get this.
Please.
Laura, do I love to cook?
Yes.
Do I cook super bougie like I could work in a restaurant?
Yes. For real. He made me like an 8-layer lasagna.
Everybody always says
I make a 15-layer lasagna.
Dude, the lasagna I made from scratch.
I'll send you a pic. I'll send you a pic.
But the point I'm making
I make my own sauce.
I grew up loving cooking.
From scratch.
Dude, send me that because the sauce I make is okay, but I haven't tried to like
San Marzano tomatoes.
Oh my gosh.
That's the key.
So what I'm getting at is that cooking is my love. I will sit in the kitchen and I will cook and I'll throw on some music and I jam out. And I never, everybody says, open a restaurant, open a taco truck, work in a kitchen. I never wanted to because your passion, it shouldn't always be your job. Yes. I mean, in certain circumstances, it may work out for you. Don't let me deter you, but I want to cook what I want to cook when I want to cook it. So I've never seeked out a job in a kitchen. And I'll kick the shit out of some restaurants around this neighborhood. Laura knows it.
That's
true. Olive Garden. My lasagna was the shit.
That kid makes a 438-layer lasagna.
See, there you go. Yeah. But it's the same thing with comics. I told a guy that. I said, you love them? He's like, yeah, it's my passion. I love it. And I'm like, okay, you read. And I'll go, don't make it your job then because you're not going to like it after a while. The stress of it, you don't get to enjoy it as much. I don't read nearly as many comics as I used to 10 years ago. I don't have time to.
I don't draw for myself anymore.
You got it. Sure. Yeah. There's no leisurely drawing. And it's not that we and we love I love what I do. I love what I do.
But it changes things.
Absolutely.
I think that everything that you're saying is like so spot on. And like Tris, like even you saying like you don't draw for yourself anymore. It's like I feel like in our like culture, especially, there's like such a pressure of like you're like, I like this thing and I'm good at it. And the first thing that like often is expressed by anyone is like, oh, but you could like make money off of it, or you could do this and you could do that and you could do this and you can have like 18 whatever businesses. And like it takes a kind of resistance to say like, but I don't want to, or like I'm not going to, and I'm going to keep this to myself. And like
I find a nice balance.
Special because like just like when you do that, you're going to lose no matter what. You can love your job. And I work in publishing. I love it. I don't read as much as I used to because of it. But like,
read all day.
Yeah. Like, you know, who was I reading 500-page books like every 2 days? Miss that. Love that. Doesn't happen anymore. Happens occasionally. But, you know, I think there's one really special when you get to work and do what you love, like Anthony, you're saying, but also like you lose a little piece of that joy in some ways doing it because it's not wholly for yourself in a way.
Also don't take away from the fact that you still have joy in it. It's just
you do, but it's
different.
Right. I enjoy comics. I do, but I wouldn't say I'm like a pure Jen. I think Jen's a purist. Like she's pure of heart in the hobby. And I would never classify myself as that.
She can't sell for the life of her.
That's what I'm saying. And she can't because
you can't sell your comic books. You've tried and you fail.
I mean,
yeah, that's a call out.
But I'm saying Jen couldn't turn it into a business, even though she's probably one of the most knowledgeable people we've ever met. She could absolutely own the market. That's not the point, though. She wouldn't enjoy it after a while. Watching her comics leave her collection or doing all the work and the research for somebody else to enjoy it.
Like a Dementor taking Harry's soul.
You got it. Where me, I'm very business minded. So I was like, oh, I enjoy this. I can, you know, cross my two and it's working out for me. But it's the same thing with cooking.
Yourself. You have like cooking. Like you have to keep something that you really love for yourself in the way that it works for you. I've
got a gorgeous, gorgeous pot roast. It's been simmering for 8 hours.
I can beat your pot roast. I'm so sorry.
Hold on.
Pot roast. That is
I don't know, Laura. We'll have to work about this because you said you're coming down there. I've also got my Brussels sprouts and my potatoes. And as soon as we're done, I'm going to go start prepping and I'm going to make smoked Brussels sprouts.
Your pot roast is lacking.
My pot roast. Okay, hold on. Dutch oven.
Already shaved. Okay. You ain't even seen the damn thing.
See, this is what I'm saying though.
Crap. Already,
I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. And I'm already thinking about it because it's something that I do in my kitchen and I enjoy it. And if it was something I had to do for somebody else and I didn't get to make what I wanted, it'd be shit after a while. And
Joe,
my heart
read
wouldn't
this
be in it.
comment. You'll like this.
But I haven't watched my.
But you guys get the point. You guys get the point I was making. Your passions and your
awesome.
hobbies don't always try to turn into a job because you want to
Be your
enjoy them
pot
as much as
roast.
you used to. That was the point.
Well,
Not who makes the better pot
and-
roast.
it's funny because now that I
But
work
it's no
for-
contest because it's me probably, or it's probably.
Haley said she's coming to Arizona. We're gonna have the pot roast.
I
off.
will 100%. I just need
I
you to
will
know,
100% come.
the one thing that I cook to perfection is a pot roast. Like that is the one I will.
Can we still be friends after I mop the floor with your roast?
You'll just be so sad though that you didn't win that.
I'll be happy either way because I get a pot roast. So.
Laura's like,
I want there to be beef over this beef. Let's go.
dude, let's do a cook-off and we'll live stream it or something.
I will 100% do it.
Do you take videos
Nearing
of your
Nerdvana
dishes? I got videos of
Let there be beef.
like
video.
steaks and things that
I
I've
need to do
made.
that.
And
Oh, I got an idea. I'm building a new PC and I'm talking like it's stupid. And I think I'm gonna live stream the build.
You totally should. Guys, Vana of the week this week. We have some friends
Shut up. We gotta move on.
over at Rabbit Comics. We're asking them
That sounds great, Ann. Shut up.
to highlight a book. This is called Chroma, and imprisoned in a tower within the walls of Pale City, Chroma is believed to be the most evil creature alive. It's an interesting storyline. Lorenzo Del Felici is the writer. And again, our friends who we partnered recently on this Coco Aspen book that we just released, the Red Sonja versus Vampirella, did an exclusive for this. Suspiria is their artist. So I just want to give this a quick shout out. Something that's worth looking into. Really cool. Like, what do you think?
I recommend checking out the trailer too, because there is a trailer for this on
Oh, is there?
Images Instagram or on their wherever it was. I saw it on Images Instagram, I think.
No, I
They
was
put
like
out-
wanting to do this book hard, but I just couldn't wrap my head around the concept for it. So I let it
Yeah.
go. But I wanted this book.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean the book's concept seems great. I like this variant in that it's very sketchy looking, so it's kind of like very pre-processed, you know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very pretty
Kind of appeals
art.
to me artistically.
She's got 2 different color eyes. That'll draw you.
And Rabbit Comics, we got to meet them in New York. They're good people. They were very, very nice, very genuine, which is something that I really wanted to stress. Again, New York Comic Con, I get it. A lot of people had a blast there. I found it just to be off balance. So I'm hoping that with enough shows like this, look at the panel we have here tonight. This is an incredible panel. We have kind of a little bit of everything. If we can all start making small changes, just being more respectful, finding more joy in the hobby, being more passionate, being respectful, and just kind. I think we can kind of bring that back if we work as a community. And we're always preaching that we're a community. Start acting like one.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta, look at the man in the mirror
Do you like to look
and make that change.
Oh, jeez.
You stare at the
Good
man
Lord.
all day. He's all.
There you go.
I
Start with
saw
yourself. Is that what you-
His
is that what
selfie
you-
from the other day was like killer on Instagram. Joe did this selfie. I was like, oh my god.
Joe always
What
wears hats on the stream,
selfie?
but Joe's
You
got some,
know what I'm
Joe's got
talking
some good hair too. He's got that hard part. He looks clean when he's not wearing that hat.
Stop
too.
it.
See? Look at him. I'm gonna get off right now too, but I just want to say, guys, if this is something you're interested in doing, if I got sellers in here and everybody's pissed off, going, "Oh no," Anthony said, let the business come to you. Do what you do, and let it come to you. And if it becomes a thing that you can, turn into something bigger, then roll with it. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying don't push your way through the door because it could be an exit.
Hey Laura, I
Yeah.
just sent you a picture of my lasagna.
I'm gonna send you guys.
Is that
a
code
picture.
for something? Kind of
I know.
dirty.
That was dirty. Sent you a picture of my lasagna.
Send you a picture of my.
I'm gonna go to my archive.
All right. And before you go, if anybody wants to text the Bird City Comics text line, this gives you literally a notice every single time that we drop a new book, including tonight's Stephanie Hahn's Yoda. Just text the word exclusive to 833-550-0802. Be mindful that any responses to this text line go directly back to a member of our team, including myself, Anthony, and both of our managers. So if you respond to these, we get those responses.
I'm getting text messages right now. Sorry.
Also, if you for whatever reason don't want to text this, you could go to birdcitycomics.com, scroll down the homepage, and scan the QR code if that feels easier to you.
There you go.
And subscribe.
There you go.
Lords of Brooklyn.
Giveaway?
What?
Oh, giveaway. Shit. Giveaway. Oh, Anthony,
Oh,
what should the code word be for the giveaway?
Vanish.
Vanish. All right, so guys, hold
Pot
on.
roast.
Hold on.
Pot roast.
Hot roast.
It should be. Can I make it pot roast, Dan?
Make it pot roast and run it. Give it a couple seconds.
Is
real
pot
quick.
roast one word?
You can make it one word. You don't have to spell it right.
Heart desires, Laura.
All right. Hold on.
And I will
So-
say, going from loving comics and reading comics and it kind of like saving me to understanding like market value and all that stuff to now working at a comic book store is
Brandon.
really different. And I did sell at a small con.
One word, y'all. Pot roast is one
Pot
word,
roast,
y'all.
one word. Yeah, Ace.
There you go.
Ace Eagle, DS Comics, one word.
Just like you see it on the screen, guys. Sorry, continue, Jen.
It was really hard, and people visibly saw me having a hard time selling at a small con. And this one guy was like, "Hey, this your first time?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, because everyone's buying stuff, and it makes me feel like I shouldn't let it go." And he's like, "Listen, give it 2 to 3 cons. It'll get if it doesn't get better, like okay, but 2 or 3 times, and just make sure you go through it a couple times. Make sure you're okay with letting it go." So it's been an interesting journey. I will say that.
Pot roast.
Mine is better.
Oh my lord.
I just sent you a photo.
There's so much salt in this place.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
I
That was
know.
pretty
It's fine. I
Mm.
have no qualms.
Ooh, Haley's pot roast looks really good, and she
Wait,
put
Laura, did you just try mine?
yours was bomb. It dissolves in your mouth.
That's what she
Also,
said.
mine does too.
Wow, all of this out of
6 to 7
context.
hours in the oven
phrasing.
will do that.
Boom.
Look at you with your little herbs, your rosemary. It's cute.
That is so rude.
That's real cute. Look at it.
So yeah, Anthony, he's gonna
She's got garlic cloves. Oh, she brought
Garlic
looks
cloves that
really
have
good.
been sliced into and put into the meat overnight.
Okay, wait, but are these Yucatan potatoes or are these just straight russets?
The russet potatoes.
Get out of my game.
What are you thinking? That's too basic? Come on.
Guys, we have 23 entries and there's 61 of you watching. Don't be shy. Type the word pot roast, all one word, just like you see it on the screen. If you want to be entered into win.
Our russet's like the pumpkin spice of potatoes.
If you want to win a pot roast, if you want to
I'm
win
not
the
lying though. This does look really damn good.
Because
That
it
color,
is. I need
the color on this thing is really, really nice.
like it's not that that's the only thing, but there are 2 things I do well. It's pot roast, and then I make a banana bread cake with homemade
I love
cinnamon
banana
cream
anything.
cheese frosting. And
Ooh.
Well,
those-
that, you have to come to Baltimore and bring me one of those.
Mm.
I will absolutely. Well, yes, I will totally do that. Those are the 2 things that I can do. Chef's kiss to perfection.
Okay, hold on. While we're doing that,
believe
I have
you.
I have
What's
Was
to,
that banana what?
I have to give her due. Okay, can you guys see? That's the edge of the pan. Okay, that's called the gum. That's called the gum line when you bake. If it doesn't go up to the top, then she didn't bake it long enough. And look, this is badass. Like that right there means that it's done all the way through. And that's a French. That's a Dutch oven too.
It's a Dutch oven.
So this is done right. Before I know I'm talking shit, but I gotta give compliment. Look at the scorch line. That is a legit pot roast, guys. It goes all the way to the top, and she still has liquid inside. That's a good
Yes,
pot roast.
I
guys.
do.
I'm not
You gotta do a
I'm not gonna
live
hate. It's
cook-off.
all there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, I feel like you guys should, do one of those side-by-side, cook-off things.
I
And
would
he could be in the center and, talking shit to both of you. That would be great. Like, he could be, the guy in the middle, the let's get ready to rumble dude. And, get opinions from both sides. and then like the Nerdvana cast can be judges.
I'm so Yee, you said that you had a poll that you did. What were the results of Anthony getting a pug or not? And BB6, thank you again. Jedi.
Oh, yay!
We have 27 people in on this thing, guys. Come on, type in the word pot roast. There are 60
type in
live
the word
viewers
pot
right
roast, y'all. Pot roast.
Paying attention to my beautiful pot roast images that
I threw a lot of shade at it, but the more I look at it, this thing is definitely done right. So
Well, I will go and
lying.
lay down at the altar of good pot roast because I am just like the most basic pot roast maker.
I wouldn't like also put that out there if I wasn't ready to like back it up.
Would you guys?
you squared your carrots.
I was my
that good or
chopping is
bad?
not. I will
That's
say
good. That's how you know she takes pride in it because the carrots are peeled and they're angled.
Yeah. Well, never mind.
82% for the pug.
As is.
82% for the pug there, Laura.
Yeah, look, here's the poll results.
All right, Laura, you got the results now, bro. Do your thing.
Damn it. All right, I'm spinning this. If you guys didn't do it, that's on you. Here we go. The winner of the New York Comic Con Bird City Comics Vanish book with the slipcase cover, the Nintendo slipcase, goes to Florida, Brooklyn.
Oh, let's go.
Congratulations. I'm pretty sure I have your information, but DM it to Anthony anyway, just so we don't forget. Guys, again, we love that you all joined us. Make sure that you check out Cover Price. They are our sponsors for the channel. Bird City Comics as well. The best thing to do if you want to keep, up to date with what we have dropping is to do the text line. Please go ahead and sub that. We're not annoying. We only text you if we have something coming out.
Every 3 days because you have drops every 3 days.
We have a little surprise for tomorrow. So that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. And guys, use code Nerdvana. Nerdvana. You guys get a discount off the website.
Let's do a quick round table. We're going to go opposite. Let's start with Haley. What do you have coming up?
Well, not coming up, but I just dropped an interview with Zombie Unicorn Comics, and I'm just so excited to highlight a Chicago comic shop. So check that out if you have a chance. And if you come to Chicago, visit them. They're great.
Wait, where did you drop the interview?
Oh, YouTube on Shy Comic Girl. So
there you go. I think that would be really fun to watch. And I love that you're supporting your local shops. That's so important. So definitely check out Shy Comic Girl. She just did a video on the what was it called? Zombie Unicorn?
Zombie Unicorn.
Naturally, right? I mean, what was I thinking? Trish, what do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up?
Baltimore
Comic Con. Yeah. I got Baltimore Comic Con coming up. I'm preparing actually a lot of pre-drawn covers.
I've seen them.
God, Jeff
there you go.
I mean, check out my Instagram if you want to see them. All in quite explicit detail. But look, I drew skeletons. Come on.
That's so cute.
Awesome. 8 billion genies. I'm working on this one.
Oh, that's so amazing.
That 8 billion genies. Got a Flurkin.
Yes.
On a Captain Marvel. I've got the Disney's version of the Joker.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And many, many, many more. So hopefully, I can get these finished. And then I can do some Disney cats. Because I did a bunch of Disney dogs already too. And then I went upstairs and I was cleaning and I found a whole lot more blanks.
Ooh, that's perfect. All right, guys, again, if you're not following Trish Forster on Instagram, you're missing out.
Yeah. I mean, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram. Plus, hopefully I'll have details soon on when you can pre-order this.
I want one.
I want to squeeze it. I want to push it.
Yeah.
I'm all about that pug life. Sorry.
I mean, I designed this plush. I took it from concept to reality.
It's awesome.
That looks great, Trish.
Yeah. So I mean, the final color, she's a little darker. She's not as neon, so the white doesn't look gray.
Look at the mesh.
Yeah. Oh no, mesh.
It's probably not a bad move.
No, right? Second on plush now. That's what we're doing.
All right, Jen, you're up next. What do you have coming up?
I don't like it when you do that.
You're on the medium screen. You're not on the full screen.
Thank you.
There you go. What do you have coming up, Jen?
No, I don't like it. Comic Book Women
I don't like it. I do like it.
Comic Book Women on Tuesday. Yes. Comic Book Women on Tuesday. That's it. All right.
Oh, and prepping with Sarah.
Oh, look at that Department of Truth.
Did Baltimore.
Oh yeah, you guys are going to Baltimore. You got to say hi to Anthony for me. He'll be there.
We gotta go out to dinner.
Yep. He'll be paired up with Shortbox, so you got to say hi to him and find him. And
you guys can come with me to the Shortbox party.
Guys,
I
I
won't
want
be
to
there.
Baltimore now.
Oh, is it gonna be like on a Saturday? Is that party on Saturday? I got the Ringos on Saturday night.
Doing all the FOMO.
If you need a +1 for the Ringos, though, I'll bring a jacket in there. I'll look all snazzy.
You
Yeah,
have
we're
the
only
short box
going
party.
Friday. I'll be at the Reseller Summit for Thursday, and I think Britt, Sarah, and my sister are going to DC for Thursday.
Keep me posted because I'll be there.
All right, Joe, what about you? What do you have coming up?
I just got a submission of about 200 books, so
Damn.
I'm pre-screening those right now, trying to and then I'm finishing up one guy for his Todd McFarlane signing, so I should have those done. It's a shitload of books, so that's what I've been doing. So
you're busy.
yeah, well, I mean, I try and make time for everybody, so.
Only person that I would ever send my books to, guys. If you need your books pressed, it's worth the wait. Anthony, what about you? What do you have coming up?
See my evil grin. Ready?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Boom! That's what I got coming up.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
Let's
Oh
go.
my God, you're not supposed to show that. Haley.
Hey, I'm the CEO.
You're
I can do whatever I
supposed to
want.
Send it to me. I just want to. I did not see this. This is the first time I'm seeing this.
We only got final approval yesterday, so it was only finalized yesterday for
God.
me.
I don't even want to hear it. That means you have had 24 hours. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I
Wait.
literally just finished that yesterday.
You're
Last
24
night
hours
before I went to
see
bed.
this?
Stop.
Whoa, let's go.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Trish, I
Wow.
love that the radish has a face.
It's so cute.
I made him a
love
little
it.
genie because I was like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with this poor little guy? He's just hanging out."
That is
So-
badass.
So check this out, Joe. So they discontinued doing ongoing issues, right? So we could do number 1. We did Super Mario 3. They brought it back and said, you guys can do these now. 7 and 8 are the last 2 books in the 8 Billion Genies situation.
Oh my God.
So we're going to go in reverse. We're going to do Mario 2 and Mario 1. So we did 3, 2, 1 for the last few issues. So this is Super
Guys,
Mario Brothers.
Bad.
Numero
Also,
dos.
all that text and stuff, all that like trade dressy stuff. I mean, like I recreated all that stuff from hand. So
Oh yeah, Trish does this all
She
by
did it
hand. Look at this thing.
It's not like just Oh my gosh, you were not supposed to show that for like weeks. Take it down.
But look how beautiful it is.
It's awesome,
no.
Trish. You did
No,
great.
no. Now it's here.
Now it's here. It's
Now it's
beautiful.
here. Now I'm
54
gonna have
people.
feelings after this about how we.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, towards the end of October, first week of November is what I'm thinking because they pushed back the release date for 7 till December.
You already showed it.
No, I'm just saying for a launch.
No, but we're already gonna. We're gonna show it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to see the rest of the books I got coming up?
You
Oh,
made us
geez.
both
I
mad.
swear to God.
No,
Nope,
okay,
Ian,
never mind.
No,
You're like,
no.
we swear to God, we're coming over.
Dude,
Oh,
that
got
one
beef
just
now.
came out. I literally just got that one all approved. I'm like, I gotta show it real quick.
I
'cause it-
cannot believe you.
awesome.
I cannot
It
believe
Really?
was
Laura,
so
you've
cool,
known
though.
me
I'm
for
glad you had the
15
graphic all put
We've been married
together.
for 15 years. Can you really not believe me?
I could
guys,
believe it hasn't even been that long.
See?
Oh my God, Brandon, jeez.
thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you guys on Tuesday for Comic Book Women. I have 10 pre-sold already on eBay, said Anthony.
My guy.
We'll see you guys later. Have a great night.
Peace.